Hey, fourth grade flutes. I hope that you guys are doing well. I miss you. Welcome to your first video lesson. All right, so the things that you need for your lesson today are your flute, and out of your folder, I want you to try to find this sheet right here. It says on it how to hold the flute, on the other side, first note on flute. So we're gonna need those things for your lesson today. All right, so first thing you're gonna do is I want you to go over to your case. Well, put the case on the floor, right? Open up your case, and I want you to just get out your head joint. All right, so go get out your head joint and then come back to this video. Okay, so I got my head joint ready to go. All right, so we're gonna start with the head joint and just making sure that we are still having really good habits with our embouchure, or all the muscles in our face that we use to play flute. All right, so with the head joint, the first thing we're gonna do, remember, is notice where on the embouchure plate, one side has like a lot of metal, on the other side does not. We want to make sure that the embouchure plate part that has a lot more metal, remember, that's the part that goes on our lip. So make sure you're not holding your flute head joint backwards. Okay, so first thing, we're going to close our lips, hold that embouchure hole right to our lips, close them, center them, and then you're going to roll it down, right? And we're going to try to find that sweet spot and get a good sound out. Awesome. So I want you to, like you've been practicing, go to the mirror and make sure that you're not puffing your cheeks and that everything looks good. So you want to sit up nice and tall while you're doing this. All right, so there's those other sounds that we got before in class. That's what I want you to try to get to. So go ahead and cover the end and go for the low sound. All right, and then like the middle sound, and then the high sound. Whew. See if you can get that sound out. It's very painful. Okay, so one other thing that we did in your last lesson to help you get to that high sound is tonguing. So see if you remember how to do this. So we said ta, so say ta, t, and then go t, 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 t. So for flute, it's almost like you're spitting out like a watermelon seed or something, right? So remember, your tongue does not come out of your mouth. It stays inside your mouth. Put your hand right up to your mouth. See if you can feel that air coming out. So that's how we're gonna start the sound. We use our tongue to start the sound. So that is really helpful to get to that high sound. But you can still like try to do tonguing with the lower notes, because that's gonna be really important at first. For me, using my tongue, I'm thinking of like tonguing, is the only way for me to get those high notes out, all right? But practice it with those other two notes, the lower one and the one in the middle. Okay, awesome, guys. So now I want you to pause the video and I want you to put your entire flute together. And I'm gonna actually walk you through that so that we're making sure we're doing it correctly. So why don't you just come on over here and watch me. I'm gonna sit on the floor just like I show you to do in class, all right? And we're gonna make sure we put it together correctly. So first thing, I'm just gonna set my head joint back down in the case. Remember, when you open the case, words always to the ceiling, always sitting on the floor to put this together. Okay, so first thing, we're gonna take out our body joint. Awesome, that body joint. Now we're gonna take out our foot joint. Okay, remember, very carefully, not pressing hard against any of these keys, very gentle, take your time. We're gonna wiggle that foot joint on, making sure that the key rod on the foot joint lines up with the center of this key. You can see that, right? Key rod lines up with the center of this key. For a lot of you with Yamaha flutes, they have the arrows down here. So double check those arrows, make sure they're all lined up, ready to go. Good, and then the last thing, taking our head joint, putting it right into the top. Remember, there's like this colored section of the head joint. We want to make sure some of it still sticks out, right? The head joint is not meant to go all the way on that far, okay? Just about halfway is what we want, all right? Then we're going to find our embouchure hole, all right? And we're going to find our row of keys, right? And line up that embouchure hole with that row of keys. Awesome. Cool. And then we're ready to go. So you're going to go back to your chair. I'm gonna come back over here to my chair. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is make sure that we're holding our flute correctly. So the cool thing with this sheet that I gave you is it shows you in color exactly where our fingers are going to go. So we're going to talk about that right now. Hopefully you guys have this sheet. If not, pause the video and check that out. The other thing that's cool, underneath, it reminds you of which hand goes on which side of the flute. All right, so that's also really important. And I'm going to walk you through that right now as well. Okay, so here we go. So first thing, we had done this in Band Explorers a little bit, and definitely in our last lesson, though we didn't get to focus on holding the flute. So we're going to focus on that right now. All right, so the first thing is, underneath this big row of keys right here is this one right here that kind of looks a little bit like a canoe paddle. Find the canoe paddle. That is where your left thumb needs to go. All right, so our left thumb goes right on that canoe paddle and only on that one. Don't push these other ones here, just on that one, okay? Now, our left pointer finger, we're gonna come down from the head joint. That first key, we skip. Our finger does not go on that first key. So pointer finger on the second key, all right? Then our next finger, our middle finger, we skip this next one and it goes over to here. Then our ring finger goes onto the next one. Our pinky is just gonna rest gently right on top of there. All right, and then our other hand, our right hand, all right, the easiest thing to start with is our pinky. So find your foot joint. Now remember where your E flat key is, this one right here. Your pinky of your right hand is gonna sit right on top of that E flat key. All right, and then we're gonna add our other fingers. So ring finger goes to the next one, middle finger, and then pointer finger. All right, and then our thumb is gonna rest right underneath our pointer finger. All right, so thumb, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and pinky with your thumb underneath. Let's make sure we check our flutes and make sure we're holding it correctly. Just so you know, in your book on page 3, it gives you reminders about how to hold it also, and there's a picture there. So you can always open your book up and check that as well. All right, as well as checking this sheet right here that hopefully you have in your folders. All right, and it's just color-coded and shows you what I just now showed you. Cool. All right, guys, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to learn our first note on the flute. So if you turn that page over, I'm going to scroll down. This is on the back of your sheet. First note on flute, we are going to learn a B flat. So notice that I said flat for this. This is a lowercase b. In music, anytime we have a lowercase b like that, we call it a flat. All right, that's a flat. So we call this note a B flat. It's very confusing. We'll learn a lot more about that another time. All right, in the picture here, it's showing you where your fingers need to go. All right, but I'm going to show you right here on my flute as well. Okay, so the first thing we need is on our left hand, thumb on that canoe paddle, thumb down, pointer finger down. All right, remember, skip the first one. It goes on that second key. And then that's it. These fingers are all just going to float up above it, right? Hover over. And then on this right hand, we just want our pointer finger down and our pinky down on the E flat key. That's it. Thumb, pointer, pointer, pinky. All right, that's the only places that our fingers are going to go down on the flute to play this first note, the B flat. All right, so once again, close your lips, center it over your lips, roll it down. All right, and then go ahead. All right, so if you're not getting a sound out, it just means we got to adjust. We got to make sure our fingers aren't hitting anything accidentally, that they're on the right notes. All right, check your fingers. Find that sweet spot again. So close your lips, center it, roll it down. Awesome. If for some reason it still isn't working, just take your head joint off, try to find that sweet spot by itself again, then put it back together. All right. Awesome. Cool. So let's keep going. So if you're getting the same note that I'm getting, awesome. If you're getting that higher note like this, that just means you're using really fast air. That's also a B flat. That's a note we're going to learn, like next year. All right. But for right now, I want you to slow your air down. Think, aw. Use slower air and try to get that lower B flat that I just played. All right. So looking on that sheet, we are going to come down here to number 1, right here. All right, so number 1, we've got a note that is a circle that's empty and nothing going up or down. All right, that is called a whole note. All right, a whole note. How many beats does a whole note get? 4 beats. Okay, awesome. So 4 beats, and this is called a whole rest. So we're going to rest for 4 beats and then play 4 beats and rest for 4 beats. All right. Let's start with number 1. Put your fingers on your B flat, thumb pointer, pointer pinky. If you have to pause the video at any point to make sure your fingers are ready, then do it. All right. It takes a long time at first on flute to get these fingers all set up. All right. Here we go. Make sure we're sitting up nice and tall. Make sure our head is not down. No chins to your, to your chest. We want to keep our chins up. All right. Don't rest your flute on your shoulder. It's also very tempting to do that. It's also tempting to rest your elbow like on the chair. Don't do that either. All right. There's so many things to think about. I know. All right. But it'll keep getting better. All right. So fingers on the B flat, sitting up nice and tall. All right. Head, bring the instrument right to your head. Cool. So here we go with whole notes on that B flat. 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, again. Awesome. 2, 3, 4. Okay. So I want you to go ahead and pause the video and play that again. All right. Play that same one again. Practicing is all about repetition, but making sure that you're playing it correctly. Okay. So go back through this. The more you work on it and making sure that you're doing it correctly and building good habits, the better. All right, let's look at number 2. We're going to keep going. So number 2, it's got a circle that's empty inside with a line going up. All right, the line could also be going down. It doesn't matter. That is called, you see how it's like taking up half the amount of the measure that this one's taking up? This one goes through the whole thing. This one goes through only half of it, so we call that a half note. All right, so a half note gets half of what that one got. So this gets 4 beats, this gets 2 beats. Awesome. So we had 2 beats and then 2 beats of rest, then 2 beats, rest, all right, all the way through. So let's play number 2 together. Fingers back on the B flat. Guys, remember, the more you put your B flat down, the faster you're going to get at it. When I first was learning flute, trust me, this took me forever to figure out these fingerings. I'm still working on my fingerings, all right? But the more you do it, the better you're going to get. All right, here we go. Number 2, B flat. 1, 2 with a half note and rest, 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 rest. Awesome. Practice that one again. All right, we're going to go down to number 3. Okay, so we have rest, then half note, rest, half note, all the way through. All right, let's play number 3. 1, 2, beginning, and rest, rest, awesome. All right, let's look at number 3. Here we go. We're going to make sure we're tonguing for this one. Fingers on the B flat. Check your fingers. Here we go. Tonguing every note. Number 4. 1, 2, all half notes, and awesome. Number 5. Here we go. So this right here, it's a note that is filled in and it has a line going up, or the line can be going down. All right, so this is called a quarter note. A quarter note. So quarter note gets just 1 beat. All right, so we have quarter note, and then we have, these are called quarter rests. They kind of look like Harry Potter's scar. So remember, quarter rests look like Harry Potter's scar. So we got these rests. So we're going to play B flat, rest, 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 B flat. All right, let's play this one together. Number 5. Fingers ready. Sitting up nice and tall. Here we go. Make sure our chin's not down. Our instrument's not on our shoulder. 1, 2, beat number 5, and rest, rest, rest. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Awesome. And look at number 6. Here we go. Fingers in the right spot. We've got 2 quarter notes and then 2 quarter rests. Here we go. Let's try this one. 1, 2, number 6, and make sure you're tonguing, and rest, 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 rest. Good. Notice that the rest changed. So that's a half rest, gets 2 beats. It's exactly the same as 2 quarter rests that each get 1 beat, but added together get 2 beats. All right. Awesome, guys. So this week, I want you to practice this sheet right here, all right, that we just did. You can play along with me in this video multiple times, or as many times as you want, all right? Or maybe you want to just play along with me one more time, and then, you know, the other days of practicing, just get this sheet out and play through it by yourself, all right? The important thing is, get your instrument out, have fun, be safe. Guys, I miss you. I hope that you have a great week, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Thanks, guys. Bye.